We're episode number 410, 2022 WordPress resolutions. I'm Jason Tucker. Find me at Jason Tucker on Twitter.
That's nice.
I'm Steve Zengit. I'm the founder of Zeek Interactive, and I run the OC WordPress meetup.
I'm Say Reed. I make WordPress, teach WordPress, preach WordPress, lament WordPress at Say Reed Media on all the things.
And it's your boy Jason Cosper, aka Fat Mullenweg, back at it again on the world's most influential WordPress podcast.
And if you want to wear some merch from that podcast, you can go buy some over at WPwatercooler.com/store. Go take a look at it over there. We'd appreciate it. Look at that. The audio worked and everything. Woo! 2022 is looking good.
Whoa! Flawless.
I appreciate how the models are very size inclusive there. As a rotund gentleman.
As are we.
Yeah.
We're size inclusive here.
Real men have curves.
This is true. Thanks.
Yep.
Cosper's like, and I'm out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Happy New Year.
I'm a bounce.
Hi. Before we get started, I want to draw attention to my cup. Sorry, this way.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Which I did not purchase from anyone that sells it officially. This is shout out Ricky Jerry.
I was gonna say, did it come from Etsy?
It's a Twitter cup.
Oh.
It's I believe she's moving and she's like, hey, who wants this cup? And I'm like, me. So now it's mine.
Got it.
And it's on the show. So I have an official
It's a hand-me-down.
It's totally a hand-me-down. It is a recycled cup from the founder of WP Campus and a strong WordPress advocate for governance, which may or may not be related to my resolution.
Ooh. Foreshadowing.
Wait, I was covering the logo while I sip my tea.
Say goes first.
It's not tea, but it could be. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Could be some tea. All right, wait, go first? No, I talk too much.
I don't think so.
No. I am going to go first and not first at the same time because I am a Gemini. One of my resolutions in 2022 per this show, but also, life and generally, because most of what happens on our show can be applied to life generally, right? It's a big metaphor. Okay. I am resolving across the board to ask more questions because I have a lot of questions and sometimes I never get to the point of asking them. And so I'm just going to kind of just be like, hold on, I have questions I'm going to ask. So thus, I want to start off by asking Tucker, aka now Cosper, what's your resolution?
What just happened? That's like wishing for more wishes when you find a genie in a bottle. You can't do that. That doesn't work.
Go twice? Is that the problem? I'm gonna have to go twice, aren't I? So it's like
you use my technique when I'm giving a WordCamp talk and somebody asks me a question and then I rephrase the question with the question that I want to be asked. You can't do that here.
What do you mean? I did that. Anyway.
I have my Skippo deck sitting right here, and I'm going to not answer questions in 2022.
Yeah, I have. Well, I have a reverse card. So back to you.
How many times can you play the reverse card though? That's really the key because that's always a house rules question.
I mean, if we're gonna stick in the whole WordPress thing here is.
I mean, it is related.
I'm going to not learn JavaScript deeply, and it's because I don't want to freaking learn JavaScript. I don't want to learn JavaScript. This is not what I want to do, and I'm okay with that.
It's an anti-resolution.
It is.
Sure.
I do not want to learn JavaScript deeply. I'm going to use whatever tools people use. I'm going to throw them on the website and see if they break, and if they do, then I have to find the right collection of tools to make it all happen because everyone wants me to use blocks instead of Beaver Builder.
No bitter. Not at all.
Bitter.
No bitter there. What is that?
I didn't say I was gonna like continue to use like Revolution.
He's switching to WP Bakery. It's happening right now.
Yeah.
No offense to WP Bakery. I mean, someone's got to be the butt of the joke.
Oh no! No! Total offense to WP Bakery.
I don't know. Is one of our resolutions to be nicer?
No.
Okay.
So, not necessarily to be nicer, but I made the mistake of watching our State of the Word coverage after we did it this year.
I was pretty good, right?
Yeah. Oh, you were great.
He was the least problematic of everybody.
My best podcast ever.
Yeah. No, but I was watching our State of the Word coverage, and I realized that there is a very fine line, at least for myself, between snarky, cynical, and even bitter. And
it's more of a gradient than a line, because you can't really.
I was going to say that's a couple of lines.
Right. Okay.
Parallel. So
it's definitely on a gradient for sure.
Okay.
And there were a few times where I felt like I was being a little more bitter than I was being snarky. Snarky is fine. Cynical is even fine in small doses. But bitter, not for me.
Not if I want to be snark, not our average to be cynical, right? Because your bitterness is really bringing us down, is what you're saying.
It was our Rose Parade coverage. Is pretty much what we were doing is the Rose Parade coverage, but in a very snarky way.
Right. And like I said, there were a few times where I just felt like I was being a little too bitter about it. So that's not the vibe I'm trying to bring to 2022. So
well, I mean, that wasn't 2021, so
let it burn.
You didn't bring it yet. Yeah, burn it down. Burn it along with the rest of the year.
Absolutely.
I don't know if we should do this live on the stream, but do you recommend we watch it?
No.
Theme.jason.
No.
No, don't watch it. No. Okay.
No,
Did anyone else watch it? Should other people watch it?
No.
Wow, that bad? Should we just delete it?
No, we can't delete it. That's revisionist history. Now I have to listen to it. I mean, I was there. Ostensibly, I do.
It was a long freaking thing.
I did get bored at the end. That is true.
Right.
I did get bored.
It was like the Rose Parade.
It is
without burning. It wasn't. There was no burning that happened on the Rose Parade like it did like 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So that's last year's news. Last year. So less bitterness, more snark.
Yeah. I mean,
is that what I'm hearing?
Well, trying to dance that line, where there's just less bitterness. I have been in the WordPress community for like 16 years now, something like that, almost 17.
Well, I mean, you're a teen. That makes sense. 16 is a pretty bitter time.
Absolutely. And I just think like long term, like I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm still gonna stick with this and everything else. And so to set myself up for just a little bit more positivity, still making jokes. But
so that could be, instead of like the anti-resolution that Jason did, you could put in the anti-resolution, less bitterness, less JavaScript, and more positivity.
Yeah, I mean, less JavaScript normally ends up in more positivity than less bitterness. So
I mean, I do want to clarify a little bit in that I'm not a developer. Like, I don't have to be a developer to make money. So I have other skills that I actually do. I'm an IT person. I take care of all the IT stuff.
Yeah, but we're not. It doesn't have to be work-based to be, a lot of. Yeah. But I mean, yeah. What about you, Steve? Before I jump into, I have stuff to say.
All right, I'll make a resolution. My resolution. I like to set goals rather than a resolution. My goal is to blog more this year, to write more this year, not necessarily to blog more, to write more.
2 posts instead of 1.
I was gonna say I'm gonna double it. I'm gonna double it this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, I actually,
And then
no,
by
I
November,
actually,
is it like NaNoWriMo time?
I have set a goal to write more and to share more through writing this year. So
Ooh. Ooh. That's actually, you guys this is why we need to increase diversity, because all our goals are really in the same area. We're on the same page. Even though we're relatively, I don't know, do we count as diverse? I don't think so. I guess not. We're all kind of variations of the same person.
No, I just looked at the screen. I wouldn't call this diverse.
No, me neither. But what if instead we're like 4 different personalities of one person? That would be cool in an alternate reality. Anyway, I'm writing movie scripts as my resolution, so that's one.
Okay.
It's like being Steve Zingett instead of being John Malkovich, and we're actually just voices in your head. Okay. Anyway.
There was also that John Cusack movie where all of the all the 9 identities were the same serial killer. What was that movie?
Oh yeah.
Remember that one?
Was that?
Oh. No, I don't know.
And Cusack was in. And Cusack was in being John Malkovich, so he just has a multiple personality. Was that just like a thing he was going through?
Yeah, I mean, multiple personality is the thing. All right, so here's the deal. Other than us being voices in Steve's head, which I have to tell you is a story and a script with legs, okay? But putting that aside, I was coming on here to say that my goal is to learn JavaScript deeply instead of the shallow knowledge that I have of it. So I think it's really funny that you said that. And I didn't think about I don't know if I'm bitter or cynical.
I could give you a lot of books that I never finished.
Books.
JavaScript for dummies.
Yeah. But I also want to write more, so that's kind of exciting. But really, it's about JavaScript and what your name is. Where are you, Cosper? On this side, down here. And we want to learn that. I used to make themes, right? Like when we first started the show, like I made custom themes, and I still do custom theme development, but it's not the same thing when you're using all of the tools. And now blocks and the new state of themes is essentially going back to that core theme experience, and I want to be able to do that. So I have to transition my skill set in order to do so. And so I'm gonna, and then that's my goal.
By the way, the name of the movie was Identity.
Oh, that's
Identity. Yes.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, fantastic movie.
But they're serial killers, so I'm not happening.
All right.
But I'll watch Being John Malkovich again as inspiration for the movie I'm going to write called Being Steve Zingett. I'm not letting it go, just so you know. We are just voices in your head. I know. So I do want to ask more questions, but I also am hoping to ask more questions in the community, because I ask a lot of, I do a lot of opining on the show. We all do, but
I'm sorry, you do a lot of what?
Opining.
Okay. Yeah.
I do a lot of looking up.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what she said. I was just
opining.
Yeah, got it.
And it's kind of tied into the bitterness thing, Cosper, is that I feel like at a certain point, because I've pulled back a lot from the community, it becomes armchair community involvement, as
right,
like actually being there. I haven't been able to show up for core meetings or team meetings in a really long time because baby and all that nonsense, but not the cheese nonsense.
I was gonna say
just all the stuff that goes with it. That's the nonsense. Yeah, working mom, all that stuff. Anyway, so I want to find a place where I can kind of I don't want to just say contribute, but I can at least be productive with my commentary.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really being more productive with my commentary is kind of how I really am kind of framing this whole bitterness thing to myself. I kind
of thought you were framing it as bitterness.
Well, I mean, it's like I don't know. I just feel like there's an inflection point where people kind of end up getting jaded, and
in the WordPress community specifically, or just like in life.
Well, I mean, in life, sure, but in the WordPress community specifically,
I mean, I think that's really true.
Yeah, and nobody likes that dude at the party.
I mean, I think those dudes at the party have a lot of information and useful tools, because otherwise,
absolutely,
starting with
they are. You're right. They are useful tools.
They are useful tools. Oh, I didn't even mean to say that, but that's good.
But sometimes they do need to keep that shit to themselves.
Well, I mean, maybe that's more about finding productive ways to do that too. Because if you get, basically what you're saying, if you get too jaded, jade is not permeable, right? Jade is a very hard substance. So that becomes a hardening where you really are no longer able to even see if the thing that you're jaded about is changing or has any potential to change. So you actually become more of an anchor pulling it down, as opposed to being a useful tool. Like maybe
I would much rather,
at least
I would much rather lift things up than pull them down.
Yeah. So I think I do think that a healthy dose of maybe not bitterness, but definitely skepticism or objectivity in terms of the community itself is really
how about wisdom?
Sure. I'm not gonna be
Steve's looking up words and he's like, all right, here's this thesaurus.com.
Yeah.
I haven't been here in a while.
Wait, what's a synonym for thesaurus? Give me a second here.
Wikipedia is really that.
Boo. No, so I mean, it's a lot of there is wisdom. I'm not gonna nobody's gonna see me turn into like a Pollyanna overnight. Like that's just not happening. I still,
but I did individual.
I'm one of those cuspers who is I'm a cusper, but I'm in between. I'm right in between Gen X and millennial. Like I was born in that weird gradient again, gray space.
This guy and me, not that old dude up there.
Zennial.
Not the old dude though. He's Gen
right.
X.
So I mean,
don't point at me.
I'm pointing at you. He's Breakfast Club.
No, Steve. Yeah,
that one guy.
So, but I will. I will bring a lot of kind of Gen X energy to things sometimes, and sort of like that is primarily like
a healthy dose of sarcasm.
Yeah,
and what's wrong with Gen X energy?
Right, absolutely.
I was actually reading an article recently that was talking about the that Gen X and Gen Z, the generation previous to millennial, are actually more aligned in terms of work habits and whatnot. And millennials are the ones who are we've gotten screwed a lot, but also we had the boomers as parents, which was just a big old mind problem. So it was talking about that. So I'm excited to see what Gen Z's bringing in, even in terms of WordPress. I think that's been coming along a lot, that younger generational energy. So maybe the healthy Gen X conversion can be into that wisdom, skeptical wisdom instead of bitter rebellion, maybe.
Yeah, and to kind of bring it back to resolutions, I'd really like to, and I've sort of started at the end of 2021, spending a little more time in the with the WordPress learn.wordpress.org team, and giving some of my time there. And I'm really kind of looking forward to putting some of the things that I've learned and sharing those things, with folks and getting stuff like written down. And it seems like a good place to share some of the stuff that I've learned, both in leading.
I mean, learn makes it seems like a good place to share things you've learned.
Yeah.
It works. It'd be weird if you tried to do that on the core team.
Yeah, right.
Was that snarky or bitter? That was snarky, right?
That was snarky.
It's on the gradient somewhere.
It is on the gradient, but I just want to be sure because that was intended on the snark side. That wasn't meant to be bitter. I'm very not bitter about the Learn team at all. In fact, I'm hyper bitter about the marketing team, but we don't have to talk about that. I make up for my lack of bitterness towards the Learn team with the marketing team's problems, but that's okay. I'm also leaving that behind, but I think that's a great place to start because Courtney Robertson is really, I think, bringing all of the teams into the light a little bit with her weekly post status report, and so and the goals that they've expressed even on this show are are really toward building up the community. I have to answer that question because it's not gradients, it's duotone. Sorry.
It's duotone.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh man. Duotone and birds on websites. If Steve's website does not have a bird on it, I'm gonna be very upset.
That's my resolution. My New Year's resolution is to put a bird on my website.
Can it be in your first blog of 2022?
It's actually about birds.
It should be about birds. I would like it to be
bird on
about
a little
birds
ship.
now. This is a personal challenge. I am IRL giving to you that you put and reference a bird in some fashion in your first blog post of 2022.
It'll be my secret word.
Yeah, it's like your safe word. Bird.
Not my safe word. My secret word. All right. I gotta tell you, for the New Year's resolutions show, it feels like 2022 is a lot like 2021 so far.
Right.
Okay,
it doesn't feel like we've changed at all.
No.
We're doing it positively. Aren't we? Miles.
Yeah.
Are you? I have a question.
For who?
Me? For you, Steve.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you going to blog or are you going to write? And so, are you sharing that writing with the general universe, the WordPress community? And are you doing that on a blog or is this in a work capacity?
Yes.
Oh,
great. It's like answers are just pouring out. Answers and clarity. You know who you sound like? You sound like Matt.
The goal is
yes, the goal. There it is. We're doing it.
The goal is yes to both.
So private writing, personal writing, professional writing, shared writing, all of the above.
That is the hope.
Is that a gradient?
It's on the gradient somewhere. Sorry, on the duotone. Sorry.
Yeah. Now I just really can't get over the fact that maybe that could be a contribution, like add in the option for gradient and not just duotone because the world is not, just black and white. Like maybe that could be like a political and WordPress core contribution. It can't be hard.
Wouldn't white and black be the duotone?
What?
I mean, two colors.
Yeah, white and black is a duotone.
Right, so it's a gradient.
Did we lose Tucker? Is that what
I
happened?
know what's happening here.
He's completely frozen.
I am?
You were.
Oh,
I didn't think so. I don't know what's happening. You're right, Steve. It does feel a lot like 2021.
I'm just saying.
Just saying.
I mean, I'm not saying, but I'm saying.
I am also saying. I'm not agreeing, but I'm agreeing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Totally. I have some. I wanted to share, if y'all don't mind, a resolution that we made for the show, which I can't remember right now.
When did we make this resolution?
we need to look in the minutes.
Yeah.
I can't remember what.
Did we? Are you saying we made a resolution like recently for this show that we were planning on? On sticking to?
Yeah, but I was thinking about it before the show, and
We did a great job. We did a great job, guys. You know?
I'm glad. Yeah, you know what? I don't remember what it was. I'm sure we did it.
Nailed it.
Oh, I would make a resolution about trying to like remember stuff, but like that's literally been my resolution my entire life. And at some point you have to accept yourself, right? Like you have to be like, part of why I'm, able to be in the moment with stuff is because, things just fall out of my head.
Well, I will say
It's
one
all
thing we
being
did.
neurodivergent, and I'm trying to embrace it and not sit here and be like,
One thing we did talk about doing was for the new, at least for this year, since it's our 9th year, is that we wanted to bring in more folks that have been on the show in the past and bring them back. So maybe that was something to do with it.
Nailed it.
That wasn't so much a resolution.
I mean, we're all.
I
see at least 4 of them right here. Nailed it.
They're back.
Mhm.
I did. That wasn't what I was thinking of, but it is the something that we had talked about wanting to do. I think it's really interesting how far the WordPress has come in the time we've been on the show. And at the end of September, like in September, that's 10 years. Like, I mean, technology, like Web3, crypto, like, did that even exist? Right? Like 10 years ago, just like
Crypto did. I mean, that's Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been around for
I don't
a
know how
long
long
time.
it's been around, but it certainly wasn't mainstreamed. And now, everyone's like,
Long time enough to forget you put it on a hard drive, throw it away in the trash, and then have some guy running around
Right.
trying to find that in the
With my
trash.
$1 billion.
I remember having a conversation 10 years ago where I heard somebody, I believe I took the position of, don't waste your time with that, with Bitcoin. And that was when Bitcoin was like less than a dollar a Bitcoin or whatever. And they were like, oh, I'm going to set up like a mining rig. And I was like, don't waste your time with that. It's
it's no big deal.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
See,
Yeah.
I was being bitter.
The internet's a
I was being
fad.
bitter.
Not
It's a
open to
fad.
new things. So I guess what I was saying is like, 10 years, you can become set in your ways. You can become set in your opinions. And I think that's really cool that most of us, Steve accepted, are going to be working on... I'm just kidding.
Did you guys hear something?
Are going to be working on, evolving that. And I think, just being open to new things. And I think that's really neat. 10 years in. And I think that it's interesting just in terms of the entire WordPress ecosystem. That's all. Steve is saying stuff in the chat that's distracting me.
and chat. Not just not trat, but chat.
Chat. It's not nearly as exciting as the duotone thing. Anyway, so to wrap up, so I'm not going to ramble on about decades and whatever.
Too late.
Yeah, sorry. Anyone else have any final resolutions that are WordPress specific related?
I think landing this outro is going to be my resolution. Here we go. Go over to our website at WPwatercooler.com/subscribe to subscribe to this content. Go over to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, wherever it is that you're listening to this stuff. We'd love to have you over there. Talk to y'all later. Bye.